High above the green coils of the Urubamba River, squeezed between two jagged peaks, sits a city of stone that seems grown rather than built. Terraces like folded pages, plazas that catch the cloudlight, and walls cut so precisely that a knife could not slip between their joints. Variety Vista presents Machu Picchu, the hidden city of the Andes, mystery, history, and lost civilization. Machu Picchu perches roughly 2,130 meters above sea level on a narrow saddle between the peaks, commonly known as Machu Picchu and Huayna Picchu, about 80 kilometers northwest of Cusco. Surrounded on three sides by steep cliffs and rainforest, its position creates the dramatic vistas we associate with the site, and also helped protect it from conquest and abandonment. What you see today is the outward shape of an idea, a deliberate bringing together of sacred geography, agricultural mastery, and elite architecture. Scholars debate Machu Picchu's original purpose. For many years, the leading interpretation held that it was a royal estate for the Inca emperor Pachacuti, a private retreat where politics, religion, and leisure converged. Other theories propose it was a ceremonial center, an astronomical observatory, or even a sanctuary for select priestesses. Those threads, royal, ritual, astronomical, are not mutually exclusive, and the stones themselves reflect a place of layered meanings. Stories of discovery tend to simplify complex histories. In July 1911, American Yale scholar Hiram Bingham traveled to the Andean highlands and walked into the overgrown terraces that would make the world gasp. The images and accounts that followed turned Machu Picchu into an international icon, but they also obscured local memory. For generations, nearby Quechua-speaking communities knew of the ruins and used some of the terraces for farming. Bingham's expedition did, however, bring systematic archaeological study and global attention to the site. If you walk Machu Picchu with a local guide, you'll notice how the landscape reads like a text. Water channels and fountains thread the site with hydraulic genius. Terraces step down the slope like stairs for fields. And the architecture divides cleanly into an agricultural sector and an urban, ritual, and residential sector. In the sacred plaza stands the Temple of the Sun, its curved masonry mirroring the path of light. In the agricultural zone, terraces stabilize the mountain and create microclimates for crops. The Intihuatana stone, a carved granite pillar, aligns to the sun and may have served calendrical or ritual uses, anchoring the Inca relationship to celestial cycles. To understand Machu Picchu, you must understand the Inca world that made it. The Inca Empire, Tahuantinsuyo, the land of four quarters, was not an empire of monolithic cities, but a network of administered territories, roads, and ritual landscapes. Roads and bridges stitched highland and lowland. Mita labor obligations mobilized farmers and craftsmen to build monumental works. And state religion, centered on Inti, the sun, threaded ceremonies through time and space. Yet, when we imagine the people of Machu Picchu, we should not restrict them to rulers and priests alone. Newer archaeological methods, isotopic analysis of bones, pollen studies, and artifact distribution reveal a populace that included craftsmen, farmers, and a population connected to broader exchange networks across the Andes. The site's food remains show cultivation of potatoes, maize, and other Andean staples, while trade and pilgrimage linked Machu Picchu to distant places. The place itself is a crucible of climate and biodiversity. Machu Picchu lies at the meeting point of Andean highland and Amazonian basin. In that overlap, cloud forest species thrive. Orchids cling to mossy rocks, hummingbirds flick through the air, and rare spectacled bears and peccaries live in the surrounding sanctuary. The historic sanctuary of Machu Picchu protects over 32,000 hectares of varied ecosystems and hundreds of plant and animal species, making the site both a cultural and natural treasure. That biodiversity has shaped the human use of the place for centuries, and it factors heavily into how conservation and tourism must be balanced today. Through the 20th and into the 21st century, Machu Picchu's global fame exploded tourism to a delicate sight. With hundreds of thousands of visitors each year, Peru has struggled to protect fragile masonry and fragile soils, while honoring the rights and livelihoods of local communities. Efforts to limit visitor numbers, manage hiking routes, and restore terraces are part of a complex stewardship that must consider archaeology, ecology, and the economic reality of Cusco's tourism-dependent region. Conservation now includes geotechnical monitoring, vegetation restoration, and collaborations between scientists, government agencies, and local people. But Machu Picchu is not only about stones and scientific reports. It lives in the voices and practices of the Quechua-speaking peoples who still inhabit the Andean highlands. The Quechua are descendants of the Inca and many pre-Inca groups, and they keep ancestral knowledge alive through weaving, music, rituals, and agricultural techniques. Festivals like Inti Raymi, the Festival of the Sun, revive ancient cosmologies through pageantry, ritual, and performance in Cusco, and form a living thread from imperial rites to modern identity. Traditional textile patterns encode history and place. Weaving is not simply craft, but communication, kinship, and memory. The people of the mountains carry a layered relationship to Machu Picchu. For elders, the ruins are part of a landscape of memory and labor. For younger generations, tourism creates new opportunities and pressures. Local guide associations, artisan cooperatives, and community tourism initiatives are ways that Andean communities reclaim the narrative and share benefits. But these arrangements are delicate, and debates continue over land use, artifact repatriation, and how much of the site's tourism revenue should remain in local hands. Archaeology itself is changing. Where early excavations prioritized clearing and display, modern projects emphasize context, collaboration, and new technologies. LiDAR reveals hidden terraces and trails. Archaeobotany reconstructs diets and cropping regimes. And isotopes reveal human mobility. These methods are painting a more nuanced picture of daily life at the site, how people were fed, and how the landscape was engineered to channel water, resist landslides, and support fields on steep slopes. There are also quieter mysteries. Why was Machu Picchu abandoned sometime in the late 16th century? Why are there so few Spanish records about it? Some theories point to the trauma of Spanish conquest and the breakdown of imperial labor systems. Others suggest the site was an elite estate that was vacated as political priorities shifted. Regardless, nature began to reclaim the terraces until the early 20th century, when renewed attention brought restoration and publicity. Today, Machu Picchu stands at an intersection of past and present, of archaeology and tourism, of conservation and commerce. Walking its ridgelines, you can feel the deliberate choices of its builders. The way terraces soften the mountain, the way walls step to accept light, the way ceremonial stones orient toward the sky. You can also feel the presence of those who still live with that legacy. Farmers in the nearby villages, artisans who weave the old patterns into new scarves, guides who translate stones into stories. For visitors and viewers, the challenge is simple and vital: to witness without consuming, to learn without erasing. Machu Picchu asks us to respect complexity, the precision of its masonry, the depth of its rituals, the responsibilities of stewardship, and the living culture that continues to make meaning there. Protecting Machu Picchu demands science, policy, and a humility that recognizes how much of human genius is a response to place. When the clouds lift and the terraces gleam, Machu Picchu offers more than an image for postcards. It gives us a lens on how societies build with nature, how elites and communities shape sacred landscapes, and how the past can remain a living partner to the present. In that conversation, the stones speak, the mountain listens, and human hands, then and now, keep shaping the story. If you enjoyed this journey to Machu Picchu, subscribe to Variety Vista for more deep dives into the world's most extraordinary places. The people, the histories, and the landscapes that shape them. Until next time, explore the unknown, discover the unseen.